Is cracking your knuckles good for you? Are you one of those people who just loves to crack their knuckles? Nothing says let's get down to business quite like that crack and pop sound. For some, it's instant relief, and for others, it gives them the willies. But is it a bad thing to crack your knuckles? Why do people do it, and does it cause arthritis? We'll answer these questions and probably more coming up in this video. One thing that isn't bad for you is hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell too. Cracking your knuckles is just so darn satisfying, isn't it? Well, maybe not to those around you that can hear it, but it is something we as a species commonly do. In fact, the Journal of the American Board of Family Medicine says about 54% of folks partake in the habit. That's more than half the population. The folks at Healthline have a few reasons as to why we insist on cracking our joints. The sound. Yep, simple as that. Sometimes the sound alone can be satisfying. The way it feels. This one is a little more obvious. However, some people feel like when they crack their knuckles, it makes more room around the joints, which relieves any tension they might be feeling. It could also increase mobility, but there's no real evidence to suggest any of this is true. Nervous Nelly. We do all sorts of weird things when we're nervous. Sometimes we bite our nails, play with our hair, and yes, even crack our knuckles. There's a reason fidget spinners have become so popular. Sometimes you just need something to do with your hands. Stress. Just like nervousness causes us to fidget, so does stress. Cracking your knuckles is more or less a harmless way of relieving tension, and could be a quick distraction from something that's got you stressed out. Force of habit. Yes, we all have those pesky little habits that run their course during the day. If you crack your knuckles more than 5 times each day, then we officially dub you one of the many habitual knuckle crackers. Besides all the reasons you want to crack your knuckles, what we really want to know is it actually bad for you? We're sure you've heard at least one bad rumor about cracking your joints in your lifetime. It'll cause arthritis, or it'll make your knuckles larger. It'll weaken the strength of your grip, just to name a few. Well, truth is, there's no real evidence to support any of these claims. Healthline quotes an experiment one doctor conducted on himself, where he cracked the knuckles of one hand for 50 years to see if there were any side effects. In the end, both hands were basically the same, and neither showed any signs of arthritis. Well, if it's not bad for you, then why does it make that awful popping sound? What's doing that? Honestly, it's kind of a mystery. There's a lot of speculation surrounding the strange phenomenon. Most people thought it was air or nitrogen bubbles in between the joints, while others thought maybe it was the ligaments surrounding the knuckles. Well, humans are always looking for the answers, so of course we studied it. Researchers, with the help of an MRI scan, found in a 2015 study published in PLOS ONE that there is a cavity that forms due to negative pressure when the joints are pulled apart quickly. So basically, the sound is a new cavity forming, but there was no way to explain why the pop was so loud. So researchers kept digging, and in 2018, there was yet another study published in Scientific Reports that says the sound is caused by the partial collapse of the cavity. It then takes 20 minutes for the cavity to fully collapse so a new one can be formed. This could explain why once you crack your knuckles, you can't do it again for at least a few minutes. And here we thought cavities were only in your teeth. What about the times when you crack your knuckles and it hurts? Well, the folks at Healthline say that's not actually caused by the little cracking habit. It's probably something else. Cracking your knuckles shouldn't physically hurt, and if it does, it's probably a symptom of an underlying condition like arthritis or gout. That, or you're simply just being too hard on your hands. If you pull hard enough, you can pull your finger out of the joint, but we seriously don't recommend it. If you like cracking your knuckles, we say have at it. However, it can be a little annoying for those around you. We don't want to be that guy, but if you're consistently popping your knuckles, it might gross out the people around you, especially if they have to listen to it multiple times a day. No judgment, but if you want to stop cracking your knuckles, Healthline has some great tips we're going to share with you on ways to kick the habit. Tip number 1. get to the root of the issue. We mentioned earlier that cracking your knuckles might be a stress reliever. So let's think about that. What's causing the stress you need relief from? If you figure that out and get to the root of the issue, you might not need to crack your knuckles nearly as often. Tip number 2, do something else. This one may be easier said than done, but bear with us. When you find yourself wanting to relieve that tension in your hands, try one of the many tension-relieving exercises, such as breathing deeply, getting up and walking around, or even meditation. Tip number 3, keep your hands busy. This is where the fidget spinner was onto something. Keeping your hands occupied is a necessity for some folks, whether it's clicking a pen, squeezing a stress ball, or handling a worry stone. These are all great things to keep your hands and mind occupied without grossing out your friends or colleagues. Tip number 4, willpower. Don't you hate those people who can just quit something cold turkey? They make it look so easy. Well, we don't expect you to stop right away, but if you are trying to quit cracking your knuckles, or lower the frequency in which you do, then you can just outright stop yourself when you notice the urge. As we mentioned earlier, cracking your knuckles shouldn't hurt and doesn't really cause your body any harm. There's no major evidence to suggest it causes arthritis or any physical damage to your hands. If you do notice anything like swelling or pain when you crack your knuckles, then you should probably go see a doctor. If you're looking at breaking the habit, it can be difficult, but with those helpful tips we just gave you, you should have all the tools you need. And that's it! Are you guilty of cracking your knuckles on a daily basis? Is it a habit you're trying to break? If so, why not try out those tips we gave you and let us know how it went in the comments section below. Enjoyed this video? Hit the like button and share with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching!